Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it is important for the record to reflect that moving forward on this nomination is consistent with 2 centuries of precedent and tradition in the Senate. Numerous Democratic members of this committee have given speeches. I see they have charts prepared to give more speeches, all attacking the legitimacy of these proceedings. And as John Adams observed, facts are stubborn things. The scenario of a Supreme Court vacancy occurring during a presidential election year is not a new thing. It has occurred 29 times in our country's history. Presidents have made nominations all 29 times. The precedent is unequivocal and uniform. When a vacancy occurs in a presidential election year, the president makes a nomination. That includes Republicans, that includes Democrats. A total of 44 people have served as President of the United States. 22 of them, half, have made a Supreme Court nomination during a presidential election year. What has the Senate done? Again, the precedent is clear. Of those 29, 19 of those occurred when the President and the Senate were of the same party. Of those 19, the Senate confirmed 17 of them. The precedent is clear for a long, long time that if the President and Senate are of the same party, the Senate, in all but extraordinary circumstances, confirms that nominee. How about when the Senate and the President are of different parties? That's happened 10 times. In that circumstance, the Senate has confirmed the nominee only twice. 2016, which our friends on the Democratic side invoke, and I understand why they invoke it. They were frustrated. 2016 was one of those instances in which President Obama was a Democrat. The Senate was in control of the Republicans. They had differing views on the kind of justices that should serve on the court. And so the election resolved those views. One example that has been pointed to, Senator Klobuchar just pointed to it, Senator Harris at the vice presidential debate previously pointed to it, was Abraham Lincoln. We are told that Honest Abe, the founder of the Republican Party, showed the example for why we should not be proceeding on this. I think it's worth noting that example misses a lot of the story. So Abraham Lincoln, in 1864, 27 days before the election, Chief Justice Roger Taney passed away. Roger Taney, by the way, had been the author of the infamous Dred Scott decision, an abominable decision of the Supreme Court. So suddenly there was a vacancy 27 days before the election. Senator Klobuchar and Senator Harris before her both pointed out the fact that Abraham Lincoln did not make a nomination in those 27 days. What both of them omitted was that the Senate wasn't here. The Senate had left. They had gone home. This was not the age of jet travel. This was not the age of commuting every weekend, jumping on a United flight. They were gone, and the Senate would not return until December. So there was no Senate physically present to confirm that nominee. When the Senate did return in December, Abraham Lincoln nominated in December a justice to fill that seat, Salmon Chase, which the Senate confirmed the next day. 24 hours later, they confirmed him. I would note also that Abraham Lincoln was in the midst of a presidential re-election, and as Doris Kearns Goodwin writes so beautifully in Team of Rivals, he was very good at assembling the political coalition he needed to win, and so he had multiple factions of the Republican Party that were splintered. Some things haven't changed from 1864. And Lincoln had multiple players that wanted that Chief Justice seat, all working really hard to reelect him and dangling the nomination out in front of each of them. So Salmon Chase had been his Treasury Secretary. Salmon Chase had been a pain in the rear to Lincoln. And as a result of this vacancy, Salmon Chase went out and campaigned like crazy for Lincoln to get him reelected because he wanted the nomination. None of that should be shocking as a matter of history. and there are many members of this committee that enjoy being students of history. But to suggest that that is somehow a precedent and that requires us not to fill this vacancy now is, well, I actually can't put it better than the Washington Post, who fact-checked Senator Harris on this claim. And the Washington Post, not exactly a right-wing bastion, the Washington Post conclusion was that Senator Harris's argument, quote, wasn't exactly true. So I recognize that our Democratic friends wish a different president had been elected in 2016. I'm sympathetic to those arguments. I recognize that our Democratic friends wish there was a Democratic majority in the Senate, but the voters decided otherwise, and so this committee moving forward is consistent with over 200 years of history and precedent.